Hello and welcome again, everyone. Today we're going to be talking about narcissists secretly wanting to sleep with your friends. Okay. And it doesn't stop there. This could be family too. All right. So let's get into it. And before I do, shout out to all the subscribers, everybody that's been loyal, supporting the channel. I appreciate every last one of y'all. So, definitely give yourselves a round of applause too for helping this channel grow to where it is. Anyway, many people will often wonder or question just how far a narcissist is willing to go or how low they're willing to stoop in regards to morale, right? And the short answer is the narcissist doesn't have a moral sense of being. And to add to it, they don't have any self-control as well. They that makes them very impulsive, unpredictable, and reckless. Now just think about that. And especially for those of you who are in some way, somehow still dealing with a narcissist, and you have a good idea, a good indication, and you're wondering about things that you may have seen them do before in the past, or you may have questioned them about in the past, but didn't necessarily fully act on it or give it consideration. Think about that. Okay. They're out of control, no moral compass, unpredictable, and reckless. The narcissist can get a crazy random thought on a whim and act on it with zero consideration for the effects that it may cause on other people. All right. And narcissists are thrill seekers. They love taking risks and they love doing things that challenges their deep, engraved, mischievous ways, at least. Right? And I want to say this because it's a thing for them to actually seek out things that is risk taking. Because narcissists are bored just being with someone in a they don't look for relationships. I've said this many a times before. Narcissists engage in transactions. And if they can get away with it, then it's no foul, no harm in the narcissist's mind. And it further serves their inflated sense of superiority and their entitlement. Okay? When a narcissist does these things, when they secretively plot, scheme, this is all about getting around you, playing with you, being able to do what they want to do because they feel that they're above rules, they're above any type of regulations or common agreements. All right? A lot of you may have brought a narcissist around your friends or family and may have noticed without the slightest bit of hesitation how quick the narcissist was to immediately start engaging with complete strangers, with people who they did not know, without the least amount of reserve. And what I mean is most people, if they get introduced, they're kind of this first time, they'll speak when spoken to, or they'll try to be cordial in a certain way. But you'll notice with the narcissist, they go above and beyond. If you just look at the excitement in their face and their eyes when they're around new people or a new potential possible source, they get excited. You can just see it within them. You can see it all in their face. They go to asking questions, and it's like it's a little over the top, right? And if mentioned to the narcissist of this type of behavior, the narcissist will usually rebuttal or write it off with the old cliche, you're being insecure, or that they're just networking, right? And for the narcissist, networking usually involves the immediate exchange of contacts or information so that they can quickly get one foot in the door with the possible new type of supply. That's what that is. It's not networking. There is no networking in that sense. If that's the case, narcissists are networking with every and anything that comes along. Right? That's already a red flag there because there's no filter. No one just networks with any and anyone. Or anything and anyone, at least. And nobody just does that. But the narcissist does. Because they have a totally different objective for what they're trying to accomplish, at least. And you see, the narcissists, they live for these moments when they can get, in close contact with those who are close in your circle. They love that. They love being around because the narcissist is studying, they're prowling. Remember, these are predators. And you're amongst a predator and don't know it. Don't know that this isn't an innocent little exchange of conversation and interacting for them. This is probing. This is finding, another possible suitable source of supply. Now let's focus more on the tactic of the narcissist networking excuse, quote unquote networking, and that excuse that comes with that. Right? Once a narcissist does this, they have to follow up like a good salesman. They have to follow up with these people that they network, that they've been supposedly going after the network. And the strategy here is involving them with certain things that can get them around them again. And they have to really strategize this in a way. If you're dealing with the narcissist and you've been with the narcissist, they have to strategize this. So I've heard it all from them doing this even with neighbors. Okay? And let's say, for example, you may have planned a barbecue or something on a weekend. Now, initially, it may have just been supposed to be between you and them. Y'all were going to just do a barbecue or whatnot. But out of the blue and unexpectedly, you have the narcissist telling or inviting your friend or the neighbor, right? And this was never talked about between you and them. But they make it seem like, oh, they're just trying to, or why don't you invite your friend over? Or why don't you, they do this in a way to make it seem like they want to be involved and they're not trying to cause any conflict between you and your friendship. That they're not trying to, totally have you all to themselves. Which in actuality, that's exactly what they're doing. They don't want to totally have you all to themselves. They do want to have other people involved, right? That they can possibly get to and have as a backup source of supply. And it serves them in many other purposes too. But, you'll see where the narcissist has invited them to come through, or they invited the neighbor to come through. And you may even notice that on that day, the narcissist puts a little bit more effort and time into their appearance, to gain more attention, to be noticed more. And, the narcissist always has to be the center of attention. So they do a little bit more. They do a little bit extra to lure or appeal to this other source, which they've been eyeing for a while, for They've already had their eyes on them. Now, once the cookout is going and underway, you may notice the fake hospitality at play by the narcissist being extra courteous and attentive to the guests. Really going out of their way to show, um, you know, um, hospitality. And a lot of this, in many instances, is just low-key flirting. Whole time, the narcissist is evaluating and assessing at least the suitability of the guests. How they can get in and see what the weaknesses are, and if it's a friend, they can see how your friend, they can analyze to see if they're loyal, or if they're weak-minded, if they're intrigued by them. They're assessing all of this. This is what that's for, right? It's all a plan, and narcissists already had planned this out way before it happened. They just needed to get them around, right? The narcissist wants to put in the mind. They want to put inside the mind to the friend or the guest, the neighbor, whatever, how much of a catch that they are. They want to seduce that person and make them feel, like I said, intrigued by them. So possibly if they are throwing out little innuendos, trying to very passively seduce the guest or the friend, like I said, low key, they want to see how that person takes to that, how they pick up on that. Do they look uncomfortable? Do they look perfectly fine with this going on, etc.? And again, the whole time, the narcissist is evaluating and assessing the interaction. The narcissist does all this to set the stage up for a future way to weaponize someone who is close to you in the form of having them betray you in some sort of way. All interactions with narcissists are fake and self-serving only to them. And yes, the narcissist will sleep with your friend, your family, your neighbor, anyone, right? And not only is it like, is it just the pure sense of doing that, but it also gives them that ability to have power to destroy everything that's around you, right? And you have to know that the narcissist knows that the situation between you and them won't last long anyway. The narcissist isn't in it for the long run anyway, so they don't mind destroying. They don't mind damaging something that was built up and may have been cherished between you, your friends, your family, or whatever. They don't mind destroying that. And by destroying that, it actually gives them a sense of that power. Right? And they won't look at it as, oh, that was so wrong to do. But you have to pay attention to these situations. And many of you probably have seen this dynamic play itself out before. You just overlooked it, or you may have said something, but this is extremely detrimental if you see anyone doing or behaving in this way. It means that they have ulterior motives, and there's things going behind the scenes within the mind of that person that is not right, that's foul, that's corrupt. Extremely major red flag. Because in a lot of cases, the narcissists, once they've been around you, they don't even give you that type of courtesy or being accommodating in that way, lest they want something again. But that's just something to pay attention to. How can you go out of your way for complete strangers? But with the nearest and dearest, the person that they're with, they're treating them like shit. All red flags. All signs of something greater to become and come out of that. And that what usually comes out of that is betrayal. Point blank, bottom line, plain and simple. So, to conclude on this, don't overlook these things. Be mindful of it. All right. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Make sure you go support and get my new documentary that's out, Departure of Empathy 2. Both 1 and 2 are available. I'll leave a preview at the end of this video. They'll pop up. You can catch the preview. They're digital products. They're downloadable directly. It'll be sent to your email. And there's also, for those of you just starting out, a great introduction to learning all the jargon and everything about narcissism, like in a breakdown, like a course, is my Anti-Narcissist Awareness Training Academy e-course, which I'll leave all these links in the description box too. Make sure you go check that out. Make sure you show your support and help pass on the knowledge to people. Anyway, have a good one. Talk to y'all soon.